This is a DIY U87 with a Danny Bouchard D87 circuit, an REN Audio K87 V3, and a Cinemag transformer. And this is a U87AI. Let's compare.
From the mind of Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov.
I know it's going to sound like a headline from The Onion, but man builds U87 clone, expects it to sound like a U87. Now, that's not too unreasonable, but it is a little bit more difficult than one may think, because it's a little bit more than just getting the right capsule, the right circuit, the right body shape, the right headbasket shape. There are certain other things involved that really do make a huge difference. Let me point this out. So this again is my vintage U87 clone. And this is the U87AI. And even though the AI is not supposed to sound exactly like the vintage U87, they're enough in the same family that the tonality should be pretty close. However, one thing really stands out, and the fact is that the U87 clone, the Danny Bouchard clone, actually sounds a lot cleaner in the low mids. And that has everything to do with the Cinemag transformer. Now, the Cinemag transformer in here is a CM13113. I believe that's the number, right? CM13113. And this is a transformer that is made of nickel. And nickel is basically an element, right, that is known for its transparent and detailed properties when it comes to audio, when used as a transformer. The U87, however, has a different style of transformer. It's made out of something called mu metal, Mu-metal. Now, mu metal is not an it's not an element. It's an alloy made up of a bunch of different, it's made up of about like 4 different kinds of metals. It's 75% nickel, but it's also made of iron, copper, and something else. And that translates into something that just isn't quite as transparent and detailed as nickel. And that seems to be the biggest difference between them because really, tonally, they sound very close to each other. This just has a little bit more clarity in the low mids, like really between 200 and 500 is where I'm sensing it. So how does that affect me? This actually makes this a little bit better for voiceover than this does. I mean, there's the 87 is an amazing mic because it really takes EQ very well. You're hearing them both with no EQ on them, right? And you can make it sound a little bit more, clear and bright, right? You can open up that top end a little bit, but you can't take away what the transformer is adding. And in the U87, it's adding kind of a little bit of that, I would say, vintage haze. Right? It is really it's a little bit too saturated, and you're not getting really the clean replication of these lower frequencies that you're getting here. And that's really surprising because overall, really, the mid-range, the upper mid-range feels very similar. It feels very close. I would say that, the D87 sounds very Neumann-esque. The U87 may have a little bit more depth to it. And it could also have something to do with the fact that the D87, the headbasket on this mic is a little bit, you can kind of see it on camera here. The headbasket is a little bit longer. It's a little bit bigger. And when you get a bigger headbasket, especially a chiseled headbasket like an 87 style headbasket, a larger headbasket is going to emphasize a little bit more of the upper mids and the highs. So overall, right, so this build, this Danny Bouchard build, this is pretty much a standard cut and dry. It's a familiar build in this type of body, in the SYT5 body. So, this is actually a really great result, and I'm really pleased with this. And as much as I really love the U87, look, am I crazy? Am I crazy thinking that this actually doesn't sound quite as good, especially in the lower mids, than this does? I mean, it's actually kind of bizarre to me. But overall, right, so I wanted to do a head-to-head between them, and I thought they would be a lot closer, much like my dead ringer mic. which has another different kind of transformer. It has a 3U audio transformer in it. Oh, no, that has a UTM 5807 or 5087 or whatever that is. So it has a UTM transformer, which must be made out of the same type of material. But the nickel transformer for voiceover, I think really works very well. And again, here is the U87AI. And again, they both have no EQ on them. So what do you think of this comparison? It really actually kind of surprised me quite a bit. I thought they'd be closer, or I thought that the Bouchard would kind of fall like to the wayside. I didn't think it would compare as well. But again, I think that this has a little bit more pop to it. I'm just kind of blown away. So, score 1 for DIY. There you go. All right. Gotta know what you're thinking. Please tell me what you're thinking. What do you think of this? Right? And don't forget to like and subscribe. So, leave a comment. Until next time, this is Mark Yoshimoto Nemcoff, fading to black.